Taurus, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early December 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Taurus collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. Guides and spirit team, what do we got for our good friends, the Bulls, the Taurus gang? And yeah, let's see what energies, messages, insights we can take a little peek at. And yeah, we're just going to look at this first card real quick, and we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Taurus. Please get this first card out nice and quick. What's the vibe? What's the energy for my good friends? What's happening? There we go. All right, cool. So I did see this vibe. This has been showing up often specifically for the earth signs. You may have even had this last week. I saw it for the Capricorns this week, and this can be a very good one. When I see this card, it's somebody that is laying low, just like doing their own thing in their own lane, in their own vibe. It's also very beautiful and confident. So there's like two separate messages we can pull from this card. Now, before we fully dive into it, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the December subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk about this card. So we see this lovely lady. It's like she's dressed up in costume and she's blending in with these birds. I'm not sure if they're storks or what type of birds they are, but she's kind of like blending in within them. So when I see this, I think of someone just laying low, doing their own thing. So for a lot of Tauruses, that might just be the vibe you're on right now, where it's like, all right, this is my lane, this is what I'm doing, this is the direction I'm in. A lot of you might be spending a little extra time at home when this card is here. Either that, or there could be someone you're connected to that's laying very low. Worst case scenario, this could even be like an avoidant type of energy. So we're not going to comment too much on that. Now, I do feel, since this card is so aesthetically pleasing, this can connect to looks, beauty, and confidence. So for some Tauruses out there, maybe you're switching up something about your look. Different hairstyle, different clothing style, wardrobe, even physical attributes. So there could be something about how you portray yourself to the world that you're wanting to tweak a little bit when this card is here. But it's not a bad thing. I do feel like this is confident, but there's just this vibe of someone laying low that I can't quite let go of. So we're just going to leave it at that. We're going to put that right there. She could keep chilling. We're not going to bother her. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say the first card here doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up here one time for Taurus. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled An Emotional Warning. And the reason it was titled that is I saw a lot of spikes. I was seeing the energy spike low, spike high, then back low. So when I read for you last week, it was like a roller coaster. So hopefully you haven't been feeling too rough. Hopefully you haven't been experiencing roller coasters of emotion. But just know that that could bleed over for a little bit. But we're going to hope to switch that up and see what's happening. I mean, you know, energy is very fluid. It's never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get you 3 cards in the upright before we get into that intuitive stuff. 3 cards for Taurus, please. What's going on in early December? Early December for my good friends. The deck is being specific here, and I'll take it. For anyone new here, I only read jumpers. So we're going to pull them. They're going to jump out on their own volition. Okay, 5 of Pentacles. Okay, I was hoping to start off with something a little more optimistic than that, but you know what? That does not tank the reading. And remember, this could be someone you're connected to, what they're feeling. Let's get a couple more, though. What is going on with Taurus? Thank you. All right, good. So now we're moving in with a very, very positive card. So it is already somewhat reminiscent of what I was picking up last week, where it's like we have an energy that's pretty low, then we have one that's really, really high. Let's get one more. Let's see what's up. And that is one of your power cards too. So let's get one more out here for Taurus. Beautiful. All right, so there's more positive here than challenge, which is a good thing. We have our good friend, Mr. Knight of Cups, chilling right there on the back end. So we'll let him be there. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I like the elemental mixture we have going on here. Now, for anyone new here, I like to look at the elements first and see how they play. We do have earth energy, we have water. Whenever we combine earth and water, I feel like that's a recipe for blessings, abundance, potential. We have the Empress in the center, Venus energy, which is Taurus energy. So when we see her, she's another blessings, abundance, potential. So within this spread already, I'm picking up tons of potential. Now, yeah, this one is rough. This one seems to be very positive. So we do have this little spiky energy, but I feel like it's leaning to the positive. So let's go through piece by piece and really start to build it out. Because listen, life is usually not a straight line, right? We always have to take little turns and detours here and there. But position number one, we're starting with the Five of Pentacles. There could be someone that's in the blues when this card shows up. I'm not always going to go worst case scenario. The Five of Pentacles, you see those people there, they're thrown out in the cold. So this card could represent loneliness, someone that's feeling isolated. I did see that card of someone laying low, so it makes sense when we have this card of isolation than a card of somebody laying low. So whether that's you or somebody else, it's like, no, there's solitude of some kind with this card. In its worst case scenario, this card could represent abandonment issues, feeling abandoned. For some people, this could be seasonal depression. I mean, I do know for some people, the holiday season is a rough time, and this card does show up for a lot of people during this time. Now, there's positives here too. I would say watch the budget, watch how much you're spending when this card here, because it can represent issues financially. Not calling anyone out. I know most Tauruses are usually very much on point when it comes to that realm, but the Five of Pentacles, in its positive sense, it's not a final result. So if it is a problem, if it is a situation, it's not a permanent one. It's one where it's like, okay, this is a speed bump, this is a rough patch, we will get through it. That's the really good aspect of this card. So we'll just leave it there. We'll explore it further in a moment. Now, moving to the center, the energy does a complete and total turnaround, especially in a Taurus reading. We have the Empress in the center. Okay, so you see her here again. In my simplistic style, it's not gender specific. It could represent you, tied to that beautiful Venus energy. And you see her there. The Empress has a pregnant belly. She has pomegranates. So she does represent that abundance, right? The cup runneth over, prosperity and blessings. So whenever I see her, I think, yeah, this is a big win of some sort. This is something huge coming down the pipeline. And we love her vibe. She could represent nature. She could just represent things taking their natural course as well. In a Taurus reading, when we clarify her, she could just represent something that's coming towards you or a way you might be feeling. But if you have been going through any sort of rough patch or extra stress, the way the energy is starting to progress, it's like, okay, now we're improving. Now things are starting to get better, which is awesome. Now, when it comes to the challenge of the Empress, because remember, every card has positive, every card has challenge. Sometimes she could be a little too set in her ways. Sometimes she could be a little stubborn. Nothing wrong with a little bit of stubbornness, right? Sometimes the energy could be a little clingy too. So just in this time, there may be somebody or something that's making you feel a little cornered. But I'm not going to give her a negative meaning when I'm feeling positive things from her. So we're just going to keep pressing forward. Now, on to the back end, we have another very positive card. We got our pal here, the Knight of Cups himself, Mr. Prince Charming. So for some of you, you might be connected to a water sign, so Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. If that's not the case, Knights represent the realm of action. They represent the realm of movement, and they're also communicators, very similar to pages. The Knight of Cups, aside from being a silky smooth talker, smooth moving type of energy, I just feel if we're looking how energy moves, this is the way we want it to. It's not too fast, it's not too slow, it's like a nice middle ground. So you see how the energy progresses. It's like we have a pretty rough energy, we have an extremely positive energy, now we have a nice, perfect, just right middle ground. So I'm going to want to see what's up with that. And for a portion of you, the Knight of Cups does show up, aside from the communication and talking, it does show up when you might be going through anything involving partners, partnerships, romance. He is a card of love and deep emotion. So we're going to dive deeper on all of it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here and see what's happening for Taurus, please. What's going on? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Five of Pentacles. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Taurus, could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Five of Pentacles time. What's this issue, or what's this energy? Okay, Hermit in reverse. Yeah, to me, this does just feel like a rough patch. So for some of you, it can represent a problem or a situation that does feel a little bit tough. But to me, it is very temporary. It's a rough patch to me. So again, that could apply to a lot of different things. For some of you, yeah, sure, it could be career related. For some of you, it can be personal relationships. But when I see the Hermit show up in reverse, this is an energy coming out of its shell. Now, the Hermit represents Virgo. If it was in the upright, we'd have a bit of an issue because that energy in the upright is recoiling, it's pulling back, very isolated once again. So the fact that it showed up in reverse underneath the Five of Pentacles, it's like, all right, the worst of something is over, or a rough patch is through. So again, if you haven't been going through any rough things recently, then you probably made it through something unscathed, or mostly unscathed. I'm not going to say completely. But again, with what I'm seeing here, yeah, the energy can be a little bit problematic for the most part, but I don't feel like it's anything major. I don't feel like it's a showstopper. What we have here, to me, it's like, okay, we will get through this, or I have gotten through this. It feels like very temporary, which I feel like is a big silver lining to the type of energy we're picking up here in the front. So we're just going to leave it as is. Like I said, it could be a situation, it could be a problem, but to me, it just feels temporary, and it's going to move through quicker than you think. So let's go in on the Empress. Let's see what we have going on here. And for a lot of you, it could just be a phase too. But let's see why the Empress is here. She could be very important. And I really want to get over to that Knight of Cups. So why is the Empress here? Thank you. Yeah, beautiful. Knight of Wands, fire sign energy. Now we're getting other people starting to show up here in the mix. The Knight of Wands, again, similar to this Knight of Cups, a big card of action. I feel for a lot of Tauruses, there is a massive winner victory coming in for you. Okay, now I always like to preface that by saying wins, victories, they come in all different shapes and sizes. For some of you, it could be monetary and career. For some of you, it could be personal relationships with the way the energy's moving. But surrounding a card that could represent you with these knights, it's like the energy's going here, there, and everywhere, and it's moving in a very positive way. So this vibe I've been picking up since the beginning, where it's like, yeah, we had the extremes of energies, but now something is getting to a nice comfortable pace. So when I see this Knight of Wands, full action, full-fledged type of movement coming in, it's even explosive. So for a lot of Tauruses, and listen, I know most Tauruses do like something a little more slow paced, build up to certain things. When I see the Knight of Wands underneath your card, this is like an explosive winner victory that could be coming in, where it happens quick, where it's like, okay, we were on the rougher end, now it's improving, boom, big improvement, suddenly, real quick, all at once. So again, this could be an explosive winner victory. I like it. Do I feel like it's going to completely catch you off guard? No, but I feel like it's a period of drastic improvement. That's the big energy I'm picking up here, a period of drastic improvement. Let's move in on the Knight of Cups and see what he has to say. Then we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow. But once again, we're kind of getting that similar vibe I was picking up last week, where it's like we have the extremes of energy, where it's like, yeah, we got some low lows, we have some really high highs. Let's see what the Knight of Cups has to say. And then we'll do our recap. So why is that Knight of Cups in the mix for Taurus? I like it. I'd say your energetic forecast is looking good. And another night. So we have almost the whole damn zodiac out here. We have the Knight of Swords, the fastest moving knight, underneath this Knight of Cups, and it's just moving forward so quick. Now, for a lot of you, there could be something where you should savor it while you can. I don't know why I'm giving this intuitive message, but when the energy turns, or when things get better, or when this winner victory happens, I feel like you should savor the moment while you can. I don't know why that message is coming through, so I'm just giving it to you how I'm feeling it. But the Knight of Swords is the fastest moving knight. So it's like, yeah, even though we're hitting a better speed, we're hitting a better stretch here on the back end, it's like, yeah, this is great, but nothing lasts forever type of energy. So like good times go out. I mean, good times go out, bad times go out, but it's all about being a little more adaptable. Now, the Knight of Swords is air sign energy. Like I said, we don't really have to connect it to too many zodiac signs. because we have 3/4 of the zodiac out here right now. But this is the fastest mover, and a lot of the things I was saying about this, it still remains true, especially with the explosive wind, because it doubles down on that energy. So for a lot of Tauruses, this could be multiple fantastic good things or wins coming in at the same time, where it's like, boom, that went well, then boom, that goes good. It's like domino effect type of energy. So I like it. I feel like it's very much claimable, but I have to continue to give that message. There's something that you should savor. Like, just savor it, enjoy it while you can. Let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadows. And yeah, I wasn't trying to creep anyone out with that last message. Like, I don't want to be ominous or anything like that, but I just feel like there's something you should savor. Moving to the front end, before we get to the shadow card, we have the Five of Pentacles with the Hermit in reverse. Now, this could be a problem, issue, situation where I feel like the worst of it could be over, or it's like, this is heading out. Like, that's the vibe I was picking up. This rough patch, it's on its way out. It's an energy that's resolving itself. Moving to the center, we have the Empress, one of your cards, with the Knight of Wands in the upright. Tons of knights, tons of action. So any stagnancy that you were experiencing, that's about to end. There's going to be action, action, action. So with the Empress and the Knight of Wands in the upright, to me, that's an explosive win or victory. So again, it could come in various different areas of life, and it could be multiple wins and victories here. On to the back end, we have the Knight of Cups, just right, where it's not too extreme on either way. It's just right. And it's clarified by the Knight of Swords, very fast mover. So I did give that message that you should savor something while you can. You should enjoy it, live it to the fullest, and then just enjoy an experience of some sort. But aside from that, I feel like the energy is moving in a positive place, and it's multiple wins like stacked up on each other. So yeah, Taurus, I think it's a claimable energy this week. Please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows for you. Let's get a good shuffle here for Taurus. Let's see what's happening, my guides. What is in the shadows? And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And if you've made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. Let's get this shadow card out. What do we have for Taurus in early December? What's the shadow work? Thank you. The Fool. Okay, so I like the Fool. It's Aries energy, so maybe some of you are on that Aries cusp. And whenever this card shows up, it's happy, joyous card. It's jovial. It's having a good time. So it does kind of tie into the message I was seeing here on the back end, where there is something good coming in, and just enjoy the experience or enjoy it while you can. The Fool does have a shadow side to it as well. It can be very spontaneous. Now, for a lot of Tauruses in this time, you might be a little more spontaneous than you normally are. So if there's certain things or certain behaviors you've been trying to take a step back from, if there's certain things that you've been trying to just like, all right, well, no, I'm not going to do that much anymore. I don't want to give too much energy to that. There could be temptation when this card shows up, either that, or you might just be a little more spontaneous than you usually are. Just be cautious whenever the Fool's here, because sometimes it just goes bounding off and does things. So I think it can be good, though, because it's great for new. It's having a good time. So there is something that is coming up that you should really savor it and enjoy it while you can. So we're going to leave it at that, Taurus. That's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the December subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can check out my digital calendar and book one at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. But for the December subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of one of my favorite decks, the Everyday Witches Tarot. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, what do you want Santa Claus to bring you this year for Christmas? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.